going to be testing out the two pasta machines that I have. I have the Cook's Essentials Primo Pasta Maker, and I also have my KitchenAid that has a pasta attachment that I'm going to be using. And to make it fair, I'm just going to do the same equal batch in both. I have 2/3 cup bread flour, a teaspoon of salt, and I have a 1/3 cup of beaten eggs. And I'm going to use the paddle mixer just to mix everything for a few minutes, and then I'll switch over to the dough hook. Okay, now if the mixture looks a little dry, you can add a little bit of water, which is what I'm going to do. It's kind of hard to measure eggs out. I'll add just a little bit of water. Okay, I went ahead and put the dough hook on, so I'm just going to let it run until it forms into a ball. Okay, I'm going to lightly spray some plastic wrap. I'm going to place the dough in there and let it rest for about 30 minutes. Okay, now here's the Cook's Essentials Primo Pasta Maker. And just like the KitchenAid, I'm using the exact same measurements. It's 2/3 cup of bread flour, a teaspoon of salt, and a 1/3 cup of beaten eggs. And I'll put on the mix cycle. Okay, now this dough is a little bit stickier than the KitchenAid, but it has to be able to be passed through a small extrusion, so maybe they designed the mixer that way. I don't know, we're going to find out. And just like the KitchenAid dough, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it. I'm going to let it rest for about 30 minutes. Okay, I'm just going to knead the flour out just a little bit, just to kind of make sure it's coated in the flour. Even though it's a small batch, I'm going to go ahead and cut it into 2 pieces. Okay, I'm just going to help flatten it out just a little bit with my fingertips, kind of pressing it out. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and take the pieces and just run them through the roller a few times. I'm going to turn it on the 2 setting. Okay, now you can't see, but as I'm running it through, I'm just basically tossing it in the flour on the cutting board and then fold it in half and rerunning it. Now this is set on 1. I meant the KitchenAid was set on 2. So I'm going to run this through a few more times on 1, each piece, and then I'm going to bump it up to 2. Okay, I have the spaghetti attachment on there, and I have my 2 pieces of dough here that I ran through, and I made sure they're floured good. And I'm just going to go ahead and turn the KitchenAid on to the 2 setting. it made beautiful spaghetti, which we know it would. Okay, I tossed the dough in a little bit of the flour, just like I did with the KitchenAid. I figured to try to make it as even as possible on the test. And I already have it in the extrusion auger area. And I'm just going to turn it on. And I'm going to hit the extrusion button, which turns the fan on, which helps start drying the pasta. And this is also the spaghetti mold. Okay, now, this is the KitchenAid spaghetti, of course, and this is the Cook's Essential one. Now, I have used the Cook's Essential to make fettuccine and linguine, and it did fine. My dough might have been too wet. I used the same exact ingredients, but this one, you roll it out, you kind of cover it in flour, you roll it through the roller several times before you get this. So it makes sense that this is drier, it's not sticking together at all. This has just become a ball of dough. So I may dry it out and I can run it back through, but then again, that's not the point. So I'll probably not use the spaghetti mold with this machine, but I did like how it did with the fettuccine and linguine. And I know the KitchenAid would do perfect on those also because, like I say, you're strengthening up the pasta when you knead it, which I kneaded it a lot better than I did on camera. My tripod was making the camera bounce when I was kneading it. So anyways, you just knead it like you normally would. But and then running it through the roller multiple times, thinning it out, folding it over, thinning it out. It just makes it so much stronger. So definitely the KitchenAid wins hands down with the spaghetti. No question.